Well, hello and welcome to Friday morning. We've made it to the end of the week. Here we are on the 5th day of our devotional time, working through the 9th chapter of the book of Hosea, and we can jump right into it today. We're looking at Hosea's story, and we jump right into the 13th and 14th verse. Something that we've connected to along the line here is that Ephraim keeps being mentioned. Ephraim, the fruitful branch, double fruitful. And it was a way of expressing great fruitfulness. This was the grandson of Israel through Joseph. Ephraim becomes the younger son, elevated over the older son. His name is Manasseh. And I'm kind of messing with you because Manasseh means he causes me to forget. So by going Manasseh, that's right. So he causes me to forget. Well, it worked. So anyway, the older son, Manasseh, is the oldest son of Joseph. The younger son is Ephraim. And Joseph brings his sons to be blessed by his father. And actually what we're seeing there is that Israel adopts the sons of Joseph and in effect replaces Joseph with Ephraim and Manasseh. But he puts Ephraim in a superior position to Manasseh. And Ephraim becomes the princely tribe. We find leadership. We find people who understand what to do. They seem to be abundant in the tribe of Ephraim, but Ephraim went north and became kind of the center of the northern kingdom, and Judah and Benjamin remained to the south and maintained control of Jerusalem, and Ephraim became an instigator and a leader. What a great and horrible irony that Joseph, who loved God, was a visionary and ended up being used by God to save Egypt, to consolidate power under the Pharaoh, which would actually help Egypt to become corrupted at a higher pace, but at the same time saved the people of Canaan, and specifically Joseph's father, Jacob, or Israel, guaranteed the safety and security of the people of Israel for 400 years in the land of Egypt, insulated them, and for the latter part, it created the issue of them being placed into bondage at the tail end of their sojourn in Egypt. This Joseph gives way to Ephraim and Manasseh, but Ephraim has become the ringleader of taking them down the drain. What a tragedy. I think the lesson there is, part of the lesson there, something you can meditate upon, this is one of the points you can take away from today, is that with these great talents and skills comes great responsibility and great judgment. The more the Lord entrusts you with, the greater the snapback. When we walk away from Him, it can actually exacerbate and accelerate our processes away from Him. And that's precisely what's happened with Ephraim. They have misled the northern kingdom. I have seen Ephraim, like Tyre, planted in a pleasant place. Ephraim settled in the hill country to the north of Jerusalem, in the area that we would know as Shechem, Sychar. This would later become the Samaritan territory, but it was right along that ridge of the mountain going north, and it was where Jacob had settled for a while at Shechem. So it was a wonderful place. They were planted in a pleasant place. Tyre was along the sea. Ephraim was inland, from the seacoast, but in a pleasant place. But Ephraim will bring out their children to the slayer. Wow. They will bring out their children to the slayer. Give them, Lord. What will you give them? Give them wombs that miscarry and breasts that are dry. This is a plea from the prophet for them, for Ephraim, to be put into a position where they can't bring forth children and they can't nourish them. And that's on a actual level, physical level, but it's also on a deeper level. The offspring of Ephraim would be just like the previous ones, and they would be continually leveraging the people of Israel away from the Lord. And so the prophet is actually calling a really tough answer for the people of Israel. Give them, Lord. What will you give them? Give them wombs that miscarry and breasts that are dry. They are unable to bring forth children. They are unable to reproduce after themselves, and they are unable to nourish them. And it has to do with stopping the influence of Ephraim, because they're really not a good influence at all. They have become a powerful, evil influence in the land of Israel. Wow. It's pretty deep, pretty tough, isn't it? But it comes right back to that consideration that when the Lord entrusts us with things, with great skills, with great abilities, with great grace, there is a great responsibility to walk that out humbly and responsibly before the Lord. What's at the root of the problem? Ephraim has lost the humility of Joseph. They have kept some of his giftedness, but they have lost his character. They have lost his commitment. They have lost his humility. And it's going to spin them off into a dire and terrible place. I think it's much better, don't you, to stay humble, open, supple, workable to the Lord, so that he might entrust to us great grace and we might have great effect and great influence for him. Repentance can cure Ephraim. And if repentance can cure Ephraim, repentance can cure anything that ails us. We come and we turn and return to the Lord. So the Lord bless you today as you consider that. The Lord might stir something up in your spirit and illustrate and illuminate something to you. I hope today was helpful. And the Lord bless you. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.